Good day everyone, I'm Marjorie R. Paulino from BTLED 1-1. Today, I'm discussing the importance ideas, concepts, principles, and ways of conservations of biodiversity. Without further ado, let's begin. What is biodiversity? Biodiversity. It is also known as biological diversity is the diversity of life on Earth in all its form another level of biological organization. On a smaller scale, biodiversity can be used to describe variation in the genetic makeup of a species, and on a larger scale, it can be used to describe the diversity of ecosystem types. Three types of biodiversity: species diversity, genetic diversity, and ecosystem or ecological diversity. The first type of biodiversity is the species diversity. Is defined as the number and abundance of different species that occupy a location. To be prices determine the diversity of a species, both the richness of the species, which is the number of different species, and the relative abundance, which is the number of individuals within each species, should be considered. An example of species diversity is the number and abundance of different species of mammals in a forest. The second type of biodiversity is the genetic diversity. Is the amount of genetic material variation within a species or within a population. There is a high degree of diversity in species, but there is a higher degree of diversity between genetic material of individual of a specific species. An example of genetic diversity is in the genes that encode for hair color in humans. The third type of biodiversity is the ecosystem or ecological diversity. Ecological diversity is the diversity of ecosystems located in a region or a diversity of ecosystems across the planet. It also with diversity in both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. Ecological diversity can also be considered the diversity in the complexity of a biological community along with the number of different niches. An example of ecological diversity on a global scale is the diversity of ecosystems such as deserts, forests, grasslands, wetlands, and the oceans. Why biodiversity is important? Maintaining ecosystem balance, recycling and storing nutrients, fighting pollution, and establishing climate, protecting water resources, and protecting land, and maintaining ecobalance. Provision of biological resources, provisions of medicines and pharmaceuticals, food, human and animal populations, ornamental plants, wood products, breeding stock resources, that future and diversity of species, ecosystems, and genes. Social benefits, entertainment and tourism, cultural values, education, and research. Biodiversity and food. 80% of the human food supply comes from the 20 plant species, but people use 40,000 species for food, clothing, and shelter. Biodiversity provides a variety of foods for the planet. Biodiversity and human health. Biodiversity and culture. Biodiversity and industry. Thus, we can say that biodiversity is essential for the good of life in the world. What are the ways of conservation of biodiversity? There are many ways of protecting biodiversity, ways that are simple, not very burdensome, and within the reach of everyone. Number 1. We can take direct action by preserving nature. Number 2. We must admit to ourselves that nothing will change if we do not adopt a more eco-friendly lifestyle. Number 3. Create less waste. Number 4. Sort waste to encourage recycling. Number 5. Not wasting water and electricity. Number 6. Eat organic food. Number 7. Use a public transportation and bicycles instead of cars. Those are all ways in which to mitigate individual impact on the planet.